Hi everyone, welcome back. In this video, we'll quickly see some of the important paragraph formatting options that are available inside of Microsoft Word, such as paragraph spacing, how to insert a border for a paragraph, coloring, etc. So let's get started. Firstly, in order to do so, we will need to enter into the Home tab of Microsoft Word. And before we apply any formatting to the paragraphs, let's understand how Word recognizes a paragraph. Whenever you are typing any content, until you press enter on your keyboard, it is going to be considered to be one paragraph. That is, I've started typing something over here and I have not clicked on enter. I just continued typing it. The moment you click on enter, it moves into the next paragraph. And what do I mean by that is, if I place my cursor over here, let's just say, for example, this whole thing is one paragraph right now. But let's just say that I want to split this into two paragraphs instead of one single paragraph. Let's just say, for example, from here onwards I wanted to come onto a new paragraph. All I have to do is place my cursor there and click on enter on my keyboard, and this becomes a new paragraph. Otherwise, I'm just going to undo that. And how do you know which are paragraphs in Microsoft Word? In order to understand that, you can turn on this Pilcrow button over here within the paragraph section, and it will give you an idea, because it basically illustrates the point where your paragraphs end inside of Microsoft Word when you turn it on. So when we turn it on, you'll notice that there is a small P symbol, and wherever the P symbol is present, it is basically the end of your paragraph. So for example, over here, the first paragraph ends over here, there's a paragraph ending here, and this paragraph ends here. So basically, whenever you click enter on your keyboard, a paragraph ends over there. For example, what we did at that point of time, place the cursor over here and click on enter. Once I press enter, you'll notice that this is split now into two paragraphs. One paragraph is ending here and another is ending here. So in this manner, you can firstly identify which are the paragraphs inside your Word document, and by turning on this Pilcrow button. And if you don't want to identify which are your paragraphs, you already know it, you can just go ahead and turn off the button, and it's going to go away like this. Now that that's done, we have understood that this is one paragraph, this is one paragraph, and all these are one paragraphs, and this is obviously the title, but it's also considered to be one paragraph of its own. So the paragraph formatting options are basically the formatting options that are applied to each individual paragraph. And to apply these formatting options, all you have to do is place your cursor anywhere within that paragraph. For example, if I want to apply color to only this paragraph, that is, I just want to color it, then I can just place my cursor anywhere on this paragraph, and I will find a coloring option over here which says shading, and you can click on the drop down over here, and you can pick any specific color that you want to add over here. And what it's going to do is, it's going to color that specific paragraph. Let's just say the next paragraph I want it to be in a different color, like so. I can go ahead and apply paragraph formatting by just placing my cursor anywhere within that paragraph and going and selecting the formatting option. And one such formatting option is inserting a color for your paragraphs. Another paragraph formatting option that we have is to insert borders for your paragraph. So many times we might have noticed that while we are preparing a research document or a thesis kind of thing, you may have seen the references section of your document. It usually consists of a left side border for each reference to separate one reference from another reference. So if you're looking to insert any borders, then you can find those formatting options over here where it says borders. You can just select the drop down over here, and these are the different borders. If I want to separate each paragraph with a border like this, I can select it. There are different options. Either it comes to the bottom of the paragraph or the top of the paragraph, or to the left or the right. So let's just say I want to put it to the left, then I can select the left border option. So let's just say I want to apply it to every paragraph, and I just want to put a left border. So what I can do is individually select these paragraphs, or I can just select all of it like this and just apply a left border if I feel like. Now the next important and interesting thing over here is, let's just say that I don't like how little space there is between one paragraph and the next paragraph, and I want the spacing to be a little more. So obviously you might think that we can place our cursor over here and press enter on our keyboard, and it's going to look something like this. So the spacing has increased, but the problem now is that it's regarding this new line that we have pressed on enter and come into as another paragraph. If you turn on the Pilcrow button, you'll notice that this is one paragraph and it's regarding this new line as another paragraph because I've clicked on enter on my keyboard. Now let's say I don't want it to look like this, and I just want to increase the space without actually entering into a next line and creating a new paragraph on my document. Then what I can do is just click on backspace, and Microsoft Word by default has an option to increase the paragraph spacing. How do you do it? So what you'll have to do is, let's just turn off the Pilcrow button, and all you have to do is select all your paragraphs, and let's just say I want to increase the spacing between every paragraph, so that the next paragraph before it begins, there is a little distance between paragraph 1 and paragraph 2. So in order to do that, what you'll have to do is you'll have to enter into something called as line and paragraph spacing options. Obviously the line spacing options allow you to, space out your lines so that the lines will be more spread apart, if that's what you're looking for. But we are looking for a paragraph spacing option, right? So for that, you'll have to enter into the line spacing option over here, and within that you'll see something called as spacing. And this spacing, it allows you to basically insert some centimeters or points of space either before your paragraph or after your paragraph. So I basically am going to go ahead and insert it after my paragraph, so that every time my paragraph ends, there is some space left over here. So I want to increase that space. So at the end of each paragraph, I want the space to be increased. So I'm going to use the after option. So right now it's showing 8 points. All I have to do is I can just go ahead and increase this. So I can increase it to whatever I want, and you'll notice that as you're increasing it, you can see a preview over here which is showing what it is going to look like, wherein if I just increase it, you can notice that the paragraph over here is shifting as and when I increase the spacing. As I decrease it, the paragraph is coming closer. So that's how you can go ahead and increase it. So if it was initially at 8 points, so let me just make it maybe 18 points and select OK. Now you'll notice that the spacing between the paragraphs has increased, and it's a lot more legible to us. One more option with your paragraph spacing is if you want to indent the first line of your paragraphs. That is, many a times we notice that paragraphs begin like this, where there is some space left before the first line of the paragraph begins. And right now I've just done this by hitting the space bar on my keyboard, but I don't really know how many times I did it, and I'll have to go ahead and repeat it for every paragraph, so that's tedious and inconvenient. So there's an option that Microsoft Word has that automatically allows you to insert the space to the first line of your paragraph, and that is, you'll just have to select your and all your paragraphs once again, and again go into the line spacing options within the paragraph and line spacing options. And within this, once you click on it, you'll notice something called as indentation, and over here you have a left and right indentation. This is basically going to indent the entire paragraph to the left or right, and not just the first line of the paragraph. But in our scenario, we want only the first line to be indented. You'll just leave this, and you're not going to indent the entire paragraph, but you'll come into the section called as special over here and select the drop down. Over here you'll see something called as first line, which basically means that when you select it, it's going to indent the first line of your paragraph, and by how many centimeters do you want to indent it. So you can also see a preview over here that it's going to start looking like this, where the first line is indented. So let's say I don't want it to be 1.2 centimeters, let's just say I want 2 centimeters. So I'm just going to erase it and type 2 centimeters over here and select OK. And now you'll just notice that every paragraph is beginning with your first line being indented. Now one last thing that we'll see with the table borders is, let's just say that I want the border for the first paragraph to come till here, and I want there to be a slit over here, and the border to start for the next paragraph separately, and I don't want one continuous straight line over here. So how can I do that? In order to do that, I'll firstly just go ahead and remove this border that I have put, and I'll select no border if I want to remove the border. Now what I can do is, if I want to get just a separate left border for each paragraph without getting one continuous line, what I can do is I can just place my cursor here and click on enter. So now what has happened is, this is one paragraph and this is one paragraph, which you can identify by turning on the Pilcrow. So this whole thing is one paragraph and this part is one paragraph. So now what I can do is I can just select this paragraph and apply the left border. So what's going to happen is, it's going to apply this border only to this paragraph, and then what I can do is I can select my next paragraph and individually or separately apply left borders to each paragraph, and what's going to happen is, it's going to start looking like this. So in the same manner, now what I can do is I can just go ahead and place my cursor at the end of every paragraph and just click on enter, so that once I click on enter, I'm basically splitting this into one paragraph, and then there is another paragraph which is just an empty space, and there's one more paragraph here, and this is another paragraph with empty space, which you can just see with your Pilcrows over here. And by selecting enter, what's going to happen is, now I can apply the border to each individual paragraph and also get a spacing like this, because I'm just going to select left border, and individually I'm going to select it, because if I select all of it and apply a left border, what's going to happen is, it's going to apply a left border to this paragraph, and it's also going to apply a left border to this paragraph, because they there might not be any content over here, but there's still a paragraph over here, which is an empty paragraph. So it will apply a border to that as well when I select it, because I'm selecting all the paragraphs over here, and basically I have three paragraphs here. So I'm selecting three paragraphs and applying a left border. So in this case, if I do, what will happen is I'll get a continuous line. But if I don't want a continuous line, what I can do is I can just select, click on enter after each paragraph, split them into multiple paragraphs, and place my cursor on each individual paragraph and just select the left border. So when I do this, this is what it's going to start looking like. So if you're trying to, like, draw a line or a left border or any other border like this for each of your paragraphs, for maybe adding references or something to your thesis or something, then you can go ahead and do things like this as well. So these are primarily our paragraph formatting options that are most commonly used in Microsoft Word. So do give it a try and let me know if you have any questions in the comment section, and I'll definitely try and help you out. And until then, thank you so much for watching, everyone. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.